welcome to the Zoominghooskpodcast, and I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And he's got almond butter. He's very happy with his almond butter. He is going to wallow in it and eat some of it.
Actually, it's cashew butter.
It's cashew butter. Ooh.
Even better.
He is still going to wallow around like a cat should with butter.
Yes.
And he will become Peanut Poos. Oh, and he still has a bit of the salt. What's this? This is salted
sea salt caramel.
Sea salt chocolate, milk chocolate sea salt caramels, which are hard as hell, but incredibly salty, which is so nice.
Yes. Care of Woodman's.
Care of Woodman's.
When you think of wood, think of Woodman's.
When you think of wood, you think of men.
And Woodman's.
So, it's not to say that we haven't been active with the podcast. It's just me with a new job, just trying to get the feel of things, which, honestly, I like a lot right now. It's just trying to get into the swing of things. We weren't thinking about doing a podcast today, even though I wanted to. The Sourpuss was going to make plans, and the plans...
I haven't heard anything, so...
Oh, really? So they just kind of fell through then?
Probably.
Aw. Wait a minute. That was with family or friend?
Coworker.
Coworker? Aw.
Yeah.
And the Poos was going to loaf over there. And he was going to do loaf things.
Yeah.
Like gaming. And more gaming. And loafing. And probably hide a hairball behind his couch. Probably hide a hairball behind every bit of furniture. Maybe. He is looking around my room to see where he can hide a hairball. He is looking underneath my bed now. He is going to throw a hairball there someday. But it is not that day.
So I actually mentioned to you before we started this that it's been a little over a year since we stopped dating.
It has.
So a year of being good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So cheers to that.
We've not killed each other like
No.
a lot of exes that I've seen. Okay, so let's actually talk about, not specifically the action, but more of surviving it afterwards. We did pretty good.
I think so.
And you know what? I'm actually kind of proud to actually keep one of my exes as a close friend.
I am too.
Because most cases, a lot of my exes
They
kind
stopped
of...
talking.
Well, that, and some of them got really, really weird. So I just took the habit of never talking to my exes, believing that they were just always going to be weird because things didn't work out. Whether if they took it personal or I don't know what. Which, unfortunately, a lot of people would take a breakup personal, but the idea is to... Grow from it.
Yep. Entirely.
And we've not killed each other, so that's even better, because you know what?
I feel like we've gotten to know each other better, too.
And that too.
Because we kind of met and then started dating right away.
Yeah. And then around the same time when we broke up, the pandemic definitely took hold into our lives of, this is a new normal.
Yeah, it was bad timing.
I think it was just interesting timing, and we didn't plan it in any way, it just happened. And actually still, not many people actually do know about the breakup. Actually, this would probably be the... I told close friends. This is the first time being public about it, and...
I mean, consider the fact that both of our profiles don't mention each other anymore.
Right. It's just, I'm not the one to ever go about and say, I guess I'm single again. Oh, me and my ex broke up, which I've seen those tweets online to get sympathy.
That's attention. That's just attention seeking.
You know what? We're not dating anymore, but our relationship means more than that.
Of course.
I would have rather tell the few choice friends who would have probably been worried and just say, hey, everything is fine. Things are going to be better. Just want to let you know, don't worry.
Yep.
And the rest of the world didn't have to know, because you know what? It was not that important, except for those that would have seen to have been important. But the rest of the world didn't have to know. Although it's interesting that Decknull at the last game night thought we were both dating.
Yeah.
Which I could have swore I told him
He
last year.
probably just forgot.
Yeah, he probably forgot. But he... I forget how he had put it, but we both looked at each other and we kind of like may have probably made the same mention in our eyes. Maybe it's not worth just telling now. We're just better off kind of like letting it slide. Or yeah. So we both looked at each other like, ha, that's funny. Ha. We're probably better. Yeah, we're probably not better off just mentioning it.
Yep.
Unless it needs to be mentioned. But I kind of figured it was a fluke.
What are you making there?
I am making a sourpuss,
Ah,
which is a combination of beer and Monster.
You're gonna have to suck all those suds up now.
It's got head. You gotta suck the head.
It's a very sudsy sourpuss.
Aww. You got to suck the cat.
It almost looks like a root beer. It almost looks like a root beer float,
It does.
but pink and without ice cream.
And alcohol, which actually that would be an interesting. Wait, would that be interesting to do? A root beer float with beer.
They have alcoholic root beer.
That's something I'd want to try out. Is to do alcoholic root beer float, just to say we've done it. But yeah, in about 4 days' time, will the CDC, in terms for Wisconsin, would make a statement that, actually, no, it was the 25th. It was the 25th of last year that the state decided to do some social distancing measures, masks, not mandate, but just the idea of wearing a mask, which even actually then, they didn't think about wearing masks. They just thought, hey, you can have better protection if you wore something over your face. Didn't even have to be a mask. But a mask would do.
Yep.
The 25th of March stated that groups could be no bigger than 50 people. Then, 2 days later on the 27th, they readjusted that to 10 people to what it is now.
Yep.
They quickly said, you know what, 50 is way too many people. We got to tone this shit down. And you and I went to... We went to a few anime nights. Did we do a... We did one Decknull game night before the pandemic really took hold.
Maybe two.
That's right, because you were angry about that you just moved there. You just moved here from the Illinois, and you only been to a few Decknull game nights as a Wisconsinite, and angry poos.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you move here, pandemic happens, and you've not been able to enjoy the meets in the past as an actual resident and not as a visitor.
Yep.
Which, yeah, that actually blows. I gotta admit that's just.
I've actually never experienced a bonfire meet.
I thought you were here for at least one.
Nope. I never.
Really?
Never got to experience one.
Really?
Yep.
Ah. Yeah. I was looking forward to doing it until the pandemic, and then by May I realized I could not do this. I was thinking, okay, we'll hold off for April, see where this pandemic goes, and then realize, whoa, not only is it getting out of control, I decided not to do Anthro Ohio that May, and then realized Anthro Ohio then canceled anyway.
Yep.
So, and I decided it was probably the better idea just to cancel my.
And then soon after, every other con.
Yeah.
Every con canceled as well.
So yeah, so last year's been a lackluster year, and you know what? I still think we were incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
We went to First Squared.
Yep.
Last year.
Just before it.
Just before the shitstorm, and literally on the tail end of before you knew what life was. Because really, the way how we're going to be looking at society afterwards is going to be a little bit more different, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
Yep.
We're going to be looking at public spaces a lot more differently. Not to say that they were always filthy, but we're going to be worried about, oh, are you sick? You should wear a mask. You can still show up, just wear a mask. Instead of, oh, I got con crud. Oh, gee, I wonder why. You drink everyone's booze bottles right out of the mouth of the bottle in someone's ass. I don't know. People are going to be looking at things a little bit more differently, which I will be one of them. It's not going to destroy life as we know it. I will refuse to let it happen like that.
Yeah.
But I will look at things in a more even light, such as wearing a mask. You know what? I think society will one day say, hey, masks are optional, but do you think there are going to be people still wearing a mask anyway? Yes. So some things are going to be set in stone for some people.
Yep.
That I know for a fact. And we're currently living in the aftermath right now, which actually is probably doing a lot better, actually a lot more better, because it got worse as 2020 went along. Let's see.
I don't know if you've paid attention at all, but the YouTube algorithm has yet again been updated. He needs more pipeline punch in there. I'm getting a lot of Karens in the wild.
Oh, they found out what you like to watch now.
That wasn't what I was watching though.
Really? They just, you know what?
It's
YouTube's algorithm now, especially over the last year, has got me sent to videos that have been posted 12 years ago that are interesting, but would have no interest in looking for them anyway. And you know what every other comment is in the comment section below?
Why is this showing up in my recommendations now?
Exactly.
Same on mine. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. I'm going to watch a toucan drink beer while I smoke a cigarette, and it, also smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And this video for 12, 15 years maybe had like 136 views, now has like 28,000 within a few days. And then probably a few million in the next 8 months, just because people realize, oh yeah, this is one of those weird old videos that no one else bothered to really check when it was current then. Now people are like, why am I here? This is funny, and I'm going to give it a like.
I mean, I don't mind the occasional high-fiving jumping spider.
That was adorable.
Or, dogs being hugged by cats.
Yes, which is even more adorable.
I mean, they get a lot of it right. But the Karens, I'm like, I just don't understand why I'm seeing so many Karen videos.
Are they angry or?
It's all like mask.
I want to see your manager.
It's all like mask COVID related, and most of them are the anti-maskers. Yeah.
You know what?
And some of those are so hard to watch.
You know what's going to happen? Is that someone's going to recognize a Karen.
Yeah.
Someone's going to, who's on YouTube, realizes, oh, that's Aunt Peggy.
Yep.
And then that's going to stir up some conversations locally.
Oh, yeah.
Because, word travels fast, especially in the day of the world of the internet. Facebook. And then suddenly someone's Facebook is going to be like, hey, I found Aunt Peggy's video of her screaming at a child in Ohio at a Walmart saying masks are silly, the COVID's not real. And then all of a sudden it blows out of proportion. Yeah, it's just insane. Yeah, for some reason, YouTube's algorithm was always kind of crappy.
Every year they update it a little bit.
And it gets kind of worse as it go along.
I remember it must have been 3 or 4 years ago, they had every recommendation right. I mean, they were just hitting it on the head. And then when it got updated, like all the people I subscribed to, either they're not making content or
They're being buried.
Or they're just being buried by all these crap recommendation videos. Just because they're the highest viewed. You know, so...
You think...
The ads.
Maybe...
The ad revenue.
So, probably YouTube is going to favor those.
Always.
You know what also kind of pisses me off lately? And I get why some of my favorite YouTubers, which none of them are furry. I'm going to just plug that out. All of the YouTubers that I know are all history nerds like me. And you know what? Are a bit more entertaining than other stuff that I could probably watch. So, I noticed that a lot of my favorite YouTubers are now not only making, like, putting ads as part of their video, like...
Plugging stuff.
Well, plugging stuff being the big one. So much so that it's now like an ad where you can skip. No, this is in the video.
Right, they're literally talking about it.
And someone as popular as Simon Whistler, and he has so many different YouTube channels, and for some reason, his content's not getting any money, even though he is a big YouTuber. He's been around for quite a long time, and his stuff is interesting. It's concise. It's not verbose in any way. It's pretty quick to the point within even 20-minute videos if they had to go longer. And he says he's having trouble trying to gain money because the views, the videos are not selling as they used to be anymore as far as people watching them. People's attention spans are so short that if you can't make a video less than 3 minutes long, you've lost people's attention, which, to be honest, if people's attention spans are no longer, like, I don't know, if a 3-minute video is too long for you, a lot of the YouTube is probably not meant for you anyway.
Yep.
And a lot of good stuff out there on YouTube is longer than 3 minutes. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just YouTube is going on a different weird kick of things lately, and I'm not sure how long YouTube will last. And given from a YouTube channel who is posting their podcast on their site, YouTube, if you're listening, you gotta cut back on the craziness.
Yeah.
Like, some of the things that you flag as inappropriate is just kind of random stuff that is either entertaining or silly, but people will find rude. However, there are videos of Al-Qaeda and ISIS of, like, people, like, their own insurgents recording battlefield video and putting it on YouTube, yet a kid eating his own boogers through his own nose into his mouth and then spitting it on his sister could get flagged, yet there's so many ISIS propaganda videos out there and there's almost very little being done about it. Yes, you got rid of some, but not all of them.
Yep.
And yet, kid eating his boogers and spitting it on his sister seems to be a higher priority than some of the really, really awful stuff on YouTube that shouldn't be on it. I don't know. I just think their priorities these days are skewed. And probably a lot more political than anything else. And I don't know. I just want a YouTube that you post anything on that's not highly illegal or, I don't know, what's the word, propaganda?
Yep.
Like, I understand if you want to watch a documentary about the rise of Hitler, that's historical, educational stuff. That's perfectly fine. On an educational context, I believe that this video belongs online. But if it is a neo-Nazi propaganda video about the Fuhrer, that shit does not belong on YouTube because, one, it's hateful. It's in a context that is hateful. And 2, there's a lot of people without many brain cells that would buy into it to say, oh, I like this guy. Just the stuff on YouTube could get sorted better. And a lot of the stuff that they flag is kind of alright material, if you ask me. And some of the crazier shit that shouldn't be on YouTube still finds its way on it and slips through the cracks. So.
Yep. So, I think I mentioned to you earlier that my store may be on the 5 o'clock news today, or 9 o'clock news, or whatever.
The 10 o'clock news.
Whatever o'clock news.
Or the 7:07 news.
There's news every hour on the hour.
On the second.
We had a thing that went down today. Apparently there was a lady in our store who was ranting and raving about stuff. I don't know how it really started or began, because I heard lots of different people talking about it. She was yelling and screaming.
You know how it escalated, but not how it began.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if it was regarding masks in the beginning, but all I know is by the time I got outside and she was in police custody,
Ooh.
and she was surrounded by cops. I believe they were tasering her.
No way.
And she was going on about the coming of Cthulhu.
Wow.
And as I'm sure a lot of you may know, Cthulhu is a made-up mythical entity by the beloved author H.P. Lovecraft. A horror author. I believe that particular story was authored in 1932 or 1928, somewhere in there. Old. It's pretty old stuff.
So you're
Most
looking
of
at
the
Orson
stuff.
Welles' War of the Worlds type of literature and whatnot.
Definitely. H.P. Lovecraft went a step further than Orson Welles, though, I think, because his stuff was pretty graphic. Some of his stories have been made into movies. One of which was about, and I think it's all kind of intertwined too. I'm not positive. Fish people that have gills that literally live in water.
Under the sea.
Yeah, but they're not so fun like the Little Mermaid.
They're not friendly fish people.
No. Because in the movie, one of them basically skins someone. You know, fish get.
You have to take off the scales off the fish. Yeah.
They did that to a human. I don't know if they did it like in jest. Show them what it's like, what they do to the fish.
Right. Okay.
But you actually see this guy hanging from a hook upside down with his skin being peeled off of him.
Oh, hey, you know what? If you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
There you go. And he was an old fisherman, I think.
He's been fishing on these shores since he was 24.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have been.
And his fish were whores.
So that was my day. Some pretty crazy stuff going on.
So you finally have experienced your first crazy Walmart woman story.
In person.
In person. This time about Cthulhu and being tased by 5 cops?
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
At least 5.
I didn't see all the cars that were back there. I saw 4 go past me, and there were already 3 back there.
Squad cars?
No, special cars. One of them was the police chief. One of them was an undercover SUV police vehicle. One of them was a not undercover SUV police vehicle. And then 3 other squad cars back there. And then an ambulance. And then a ladder truck at the front of the store.
Wait, a fire truck.
Yeah.
The fuck were they doing at Walmart?
fire and police were all there. She pulled the alarm, the fire alarm.
Oh, okay.
So they were bringing everything.
Well, I was thinking they had a douser because she got tased.
They were probably bored too, I would imagine. That's why they all came.
We've been told that there's a crazy nut at Walmart. You want to go, guys? Sure. They at least pulled a fire alarm. We may as well show up.
Yeah. Well, they're getting paid at that point.
Oh, dude, that is the most expensive flick of a switch that there ever is. They're getting paid regardless. They may as well show up. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's why if you go to a fur con and if you pull the fire alarm handle, you're not going back at that convention.
Right.
Because that stuff is expensive. It is highly legal because you're doing that when there should be an emergency.
Yeah. And you know from personal experience about pushing things or pulling things that you're not supposed to.
That was a general alarm in Paris. That's not slightly different, but it is a bit different. But you're touching on things.
And you were a small Hoosk at the time.
I was young Hoosk, who was very tired and wanted to swirl and pressing buttons all day at museums because information. And then found another button that was red in a subway station, and I pulled it. Actually, no, I didn't pull it. I pressed it. I was so used to pressing buttons all day for information. I pressed that one, and then a klaxon rang out, and like, oh, fuck. And then you realized years later what that does. Is
what did you do after you pressed it? Did you run?
Oh, I just stared at it stupidly, thinking, this was stupid. I woke up fully again after pressing that button, and after the first ring of the klaxon, that's when I realized, I'm a dumbass. And what happens to the French public transport system is that all the rail, subway, and large-scale commuter train, they all shut down. The whole system shuts down. And that will fuck anyone's travel for at least a good 4 hours.
Ooh, that's...
And Paris is a huge city. In some cases, there are more people traveling in Paris at any given point than there is all day in Chicago. It's just huge, huge.
And where was your mom and dad at this time?
Oh, they were with me, and they say, you're a moron. My dad didn't say a thing. I got depressed, so he bought me a liter of beer, and then we both shared 2 liters of beer between each other. No, 4. 4 liters of beer. I was 15 at the time. Not old enough to drink, but it's like in Wisconsin. If your folks say it's okay for you to drink, in France they say, oh, sure thing, we'll give you double of what you probably should have. It was some good beer, though. Mm-hmm. Did you... Like, a lot of people think, oh, yeah, Germans make good beer. Believe it or not, the French make some pretty kick-ass beer. It's actually quite unknown. Have a French beer, you're going to realize, it's like with any German car. Yes, German cars are very sporty, but believe it or not, the most comfortable cars you could buy are French. So, if you think that you're going to get wasted on good German beer, you are right. But if you want beer that with actual taste, get a French beer. Yeah, they won't get your shit faced, but you will actually have a quality tasting beer.
Well, I would imagine just like anything else, if you drink enough of anything, you can get shit faced.
Oh, dude, and I got shit faced after that on 2 liters of beer, and I was very small Hoosk. I only weighed about 100 pounds at that time. So.
You were a miniature zoomer.
Oh yes, I was small. I was small Hoosk, but I was zooming at speeds of regular Hoosks. Yes. Yeah, so that was dumb on my part. That's the only thing dumb I've ever done that was highly illegal that may be considered jail time. Mm-hmm. And that was in France, and since I was dual citizen... Oh, I could have certainly had jail time in France. If you were a tourist, they'd give you jail for a day, and then they throw you out. And they'll have a record of you in France. Just because you're an idiot, they'll have you say, hey, American cheeseburger pulled a fire alarm here. You know what? We'll just make fun of his record for the next 10 years until we burn it. If you did something in this country, it becomes a permanent record. It's the same in France. That's the only thing stupid I've ever done, and you know what? Yeah, not the best moment, but when you're going on 2 hours of sleep and being up for nearly 24 hours at that point, you do stupid things eventually. Especially when you go to so many museums with informational booths that you press buttons for.
Yep.
You know what? You just keep going.
You know what else happened to me today?
What happened?
My old supervisor, Sabine, Sardine, hit on me again. She came up to me at lunch, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to reenact this just how she did it.
Okay.
Say you're facing completely straight forward at your desk like you would normally be when you're watching. She came up next to me and she went, "You smell good today." Who says that?
Oh, it's the same person that would try to rub your neck and say, "You have nice neck skin."
Who says that to a coworker? "You smell good today." I was like, well, at least I don't smell like a piece of shit. That was my reply. Because the day prior to our little fire alarm,
yeah,
some kid took a shit on the sidewalk in front of the store. And Jim, the old guy, had to clean it up. This is all happening while I'm there. It's not
in
even
the middle of the day.
It's not even
in New Berlin of all places.
It's not even nighttime Walmart. It's just daytime Walmart.
So what do you think happened? The kid just says, "I gotta go, but I don't want to go to Walmart."
The mom would not let him. They were in the store. The kid was crying.
Really?
She left. The kid started shitting, and so she pulled down his pants and made him shit on the sidewalk.
Wow.
And left it there.
So the kid started... Oh, that's so sad for the kid, but still.
What parent lets that happen?
Walmart has restrooms.
Right
and
in
actually
front of the store.
They have good restrooms, too. In some cases, a Walmart bathroom is better than a Quick Trip bathroom, and I'm saying... That's saying something.
Yeah.
And Quick Trip has some really nice bathrooms.
Yeah.
If all the money of Walmart that would have been spent for better pay, they spent it in their bathrooms.
Yeah. The only thing about our bathroom at the front of the store is only one toilet and 2 urinals.
Ooh.
Which is not great. The old store that I worked at, there were 3 toilets up front.
Ooh.
Because they're all just family restrooms. This is literally a men's restroom and a women's restroom. They should have more restroom up there, honestly.
So what did you guys say? Like, how was it even brought up?
Another customer.
Hey, I don't know if you guys are trained for this, but someone took a deuce on your front porch.
Yep.
And what was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, I was not the first person to hear it.
No, but I'm saying is like, what was your reaction?
Sabine came back to our back room and she said, Jim came up to me and said, "I don't know how to say this. I've seen some crazy shit in the last 25 years I've worked here. But this one literally takes the cake."
Oh my God.
And she said, "I'm afraid to even hear what it is because to be there that long and see some pretty crazy shit."
Oh my God.
But this is literally a crazy shit.
Is that what she said?
No, I'm just thinking that now. This is a wild shit. A shit in the wild.
A wild shit appeared.
Yep. A wild shit
Did you want to run or capture it? Run, I understand.
I definitely would run.
So where was it in the front? Was it like out in the open? Or
you know
was
where
it...
the doors are, where we usually go in on the left-hand side by the grocery? Yeah. Probably like 15, 20 feet like away from the door.
Left or right or?
Left of the door.
When you really think about it, 15 feet's not that far away.
It isn't. Like, it's pretty much right down where the corral is for the carts.
Oh, that's more than 15 feet. So that's like 30, 40, 50 feet there.
So it was probably down close by the corral.
So it was more in the parking lot more than anything else.
No, it was on the sidewalk.
Oh, okay. So that's not even near the corral. That's... Oh, the corral on the side of the building.
Yes.
Oh.
It was between the front entrance and the corral. Somewhere in that vicinity.
You should just rename it the shit corral.
Yeah.
The kid... I mean, that's awful for a parent.
Well, I blame the parent because she ignored the kid's need.
Yeah.
He said he had to go to the bathroom. I mean, people... the girl that I work with, who was on the floor at the time, heard the kid crying. She ignored the kid. She was like, no, we have to go. And then just made him drop his pants at the front of the store and leave shit there. It was like a steaming pile.
Oh my god. Oh, shit.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god. You know, I don't know, but that almost seems like a lawsuit of so many degrees. And I don't even want to go into it. I just can't help but think of, if there's security footage, they'd have to burn the footage just because they saw a kid's ass.
Yeah.
That stuff should just get burned.
Deleted.
Because you know what? That's, I don't know, that seems a lot more CP.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's some sketch shit, and oh my gosh.
We've got a lot of sketch things going on there, honestly. We've got donuts 10 inches away from kitty litter. And I don't know how familiar you are with kitty litter. Most of them come in the boxes.
Oh my god. And you're better off putting the cat litter inside the donut box and just shake it up a bit.
This is coming from a cat. I know kitty litter well enough. I've worked with it for a good 7-8 months. When you have a huge pallet of kitty litter and you're lifting kitty litter off the pallet, there's a lot of leftover gravel that seeps out because those things are not airtight.
No.
And when you stock them and you're pushing them, boxes kind of compress and expand, and dust flies everywhere. Kitty litter dust flies everywhere. And we have a nice little half table of donuts, also not in airtight packages.
Just sitting out.
Just sitting out right next to the kitty litter. It's been there for weeks. It's been there for weeks. One of our assistant managers, or whatever he is now, is like, yeah, we're just going to run with it. And after he was confronted by the meats department manager for saying, this is a health code violation, you need to move those donuts. This is coming from a meat department
from someone
manager.
Entirely different, wow.
And he said, that's a health code violation, you've got to move this. I mean, and they're like, they're the sugar donuts. They're just like covered with sugar. So now they're covered with possibly more than just sugar. If you happen to buy donuts from my store,
if it tastes like cat litter, don't ask why.
If you bite into it and it's got kind of a grizzly, it doesn't break down so fast, it's probably my litter.
If you find yourself shitting in a box one night, it may be from those donuts. And then if you see another cat shitting in your box while you're shitting in that box and say, oh, you too?
If you find yourself hissing and swatting at people, you might be a cat.
From eating that donut.
Yep.
There we go.
So, yeah, that's my crazy work adventures. That's just in the past 3 days. That's not even my whole week.
Oh, so, in my bus I have 2 radios, the actual van radio and my substation radio, really a CB radio.
Yep.
And when I heard the iconic tune of the theme from Shaft, in North Milwaukee, of all places, and I tuned it up, and all of my clients in my bus at the time were all, black.
Mm-hmm.
I was singing Shaft by myself, then they pitched in. That was the most enjoyable, moment of my whole week, was singing Shaft, and then the ladies in the back were like, Shaft! You can dig it. Or, wait, damn right. Mm-hmm. It was the funniest and maybe the most amazing thing that's ever happened. And then after that, everyone went silent again. It's like, okay, all right, but hey, you can sing with me. That's fine by me too.
He's having good experiences.
I heard Shaft is a real bad mother. Shut your mouth. Oh, talking about Shaft. It's a good tune. I absolutely love it.
Who sings that, right?
Yeah, it's Sir Isaac Newton. No, it's not Sir Isaac Newton. It's Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes.
Which, if you did not know, he is an incredible film photographer.
And the voice of?
Chef.
Yes. Was the voice of Chef.
Yep. Until he had left the show because of...
Scientology.
Yep.
Let's face it.
Who's the guy behind the counter serving up your food? Chef. Oh, yeah.
I remember when they killed off that character on the show. It was kind of a sad day. Trey Parker and Matt Stone both really liked him.
Mm-hmm. And he was maybe the most notable person on that whole show. Because Isaac Hayes is a man of all trades.
Yeah.
He is a music composer.
Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal film photographer. In fact, a bit of my own film photography work is somewhat inspired by him. I have very little inspiration when it comes to my own work. Isaac Hayes is about the only one that comes to mind as far as literally just film photography inspiration. That's it. Because he was that fantastic.
It makes me want to check and see if there's any interviews where they talk about it. I would imagine they probably... they held him in really high regards. Why would they keep someone around that long as a reprisable character of that show? I mean, an integral part of that show, really.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't work tomorrow?
Nope, or Monday.
Oh, that's right. You have a weekend now.
Yes, I'm on my weekend starting Saturday. Yeah. Really, I spent all my time today on the south side. Not a single pickup or drop off in North Milwaukee. It was literally all south side. There was a few downtown, but yeah, really, I stuck because of 3 of my 4 days, I spent a lot of my time in North Milwaukee because a lot of our clients qualify there. So I spend my time there, which, you know what, does not bother me one bit. Some people think that North Milwaukee is scary. I don't think so. Especially when you're wearing a yellow vest, they know, hey, this person, we avoid. Probably because they're helping all of their relatives and their friends and family getting the help and treatment that they need. Of course, they're not going to mess around with people who are absolutely helping them.
They know better.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I didn't say this to anyone, not to really make anyone worry, but I thought I was going to get jumped on a porch. Turns out it was a guy asking me if they had change for $5. And then when I gave him change for $5, they gave me a fist bump and say, cool, man.
That's great.
So, yeah, and then there were like 3 of them, and they were like, man! You're the man! Yeah, actually, you know what? There is no color. There is no race. It's just people.
Yep.
And you know what? You obviously have to see it through their own perspective as well. And you know what? They're just trying to get by. They're just trying to make the best of their day, the best of their time. And once you get to understand that, you realize they're just like you and me. Because you know what? They're just trying to get by in any way they can.
Yep.
And people think, oh, you're on the north side. Oh, be careful. Really, if you treat everyone normally, they won't even. You won't have to worry. Nope. If you say, hello, sir, how was your day? Hope you're doing well. We'll catch you next time. If you actually show them not just eye contact, but you're going to make the effort to talk with them, you're going to make a lot of good friends. Mm-hmm. And they'll know that you're not just some other white person. But they'll actually probably treat you like any other person. Because I know some people treat me differently because I am white. And you know what? That's okay. I kind of expect that. But the more and more I'm working in certain areas, my clients and whatnot, they start to understand who I actually am. Yeah. And I think they realize I'm a normal person and I'm treating everyone with friendly regards, with respect and care. And I'm not one of those people that they may have met in their past that maybe made a bad representation of white people, because I gotta admit, there's a lot of racist people.
Yes, there is.
Milwaukee, unfortunately, being the most segregated city in the country, the best example you can take is being the best version of you.
Yeah. Well,
not just being the best version, be naturally the best person you are. Because you know what? If you're going to fake it, it's hopeless. If you be exactly who you are and nothing else, you're going to do fine. And I get nothing but warmth from everyone, which is fantastic. Especially my moment with Shaft. That was the best thing. Because I had turned it up a bit on the knob and this and that, and they're like, oh, you're talking about Shaft. Oh, yeah. And that was the best interaction I've had.
That's great.
Yeah. Really, it's all about perspective. It's all about going in with the right headspace, the right mindset. And you treat people the same as you like to be treated, they'll treat you back the same way in time. And you know what? They'll appreciate that.
Definitely.
Because today I also saw a Black Lives Matter protest. I don't know, protest? I'm not sure. There were people with signs and whatnot, and I kind of waved.
I would say probably a demonstration.
It was a demonstration, okay. Because it wasn't really a protest. It was not on the street, but it was on the side and whatnot. And I'd never seen one before in person. But I waved, though. But regardless of what people think about it, To be real, if I wanted to be real at the very moment right now, there's a problem in this country. There is a total problem in this country, and it needs to be solved. And we're not asking for the world. We just want people to treat others like human beings.
Yep.
And it's a shame that in this day and age, people are just so animalistic with how they treat others. It's just awful. And hopefully that can change, because I would like to see it change.
Me too.
Because here's a fun example, and this is me just being me. Back 8 or 9 years ago, I worked for another company, and I was selling tickets for a bus line. And there was a car that had pulled up, and this one lady, and she was black, she asked me, "Hey, I am trying to look for a place. I'm not sure where to go. Do you know what I am, like, do you know what I'm referencing to, and how do I get there?" And I said, "I sort of don't know, but I can grab my GPS and I can probably show you where you can go." And I gave him the time of day on my time, meaning I was on the clock. When I probably shouldn't have helped, I still helped anyway, because I like to be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him, as much help as I possibly can and whatnot, and they say, "Thank you so much, Brother Hoosk." And I felt really good about that. Yeah, it's just something like that I have never actually experienced before, but it's like I was not asking for a thank you. I just wanted to be helpful. And I can see the general appreciation and say, "Thank you, Lord, for Brother Hoosk. You are a good person." And that made me smile, and I continued to sweat for the rest of my shift outside in the middle of summer. But you know what? That made me smile, because that was a really boring spot to be in. So, always do the good thing. Always do the right thing. If you learn from anything about this episode of this podcast, always do the right thing that your gut tells you to do. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Also, too, the roads around here suck.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they do.
Not a single stretch of road in this whole county is smooth. It's even more apparent when I travel between Waukesha and Milwaukee County. Holy cow, is there a difference? And I thought Waukesha County, which has, the roads aren't bad, but I hadn't realized that they're totally blemishless. No, they're not blemished by any. The mic had to pick that one up.
It did.
Oh my god!
It definitely did.
Oh no!
I think it picks my farts up better than it picks up my voice.
That
was propeller poos. I literally got propelled across the room.
I'm gonna have to stop breathing now.
You better start now.
Oh no, is it coming this way?
Yep. I can't stop it.
Oh my god. I don't smell anything yet.
It's coming. The particles have to...
Oh no, the gray particles. The gray-green poo particles. That's what Dragor mentions it as. I am leaning back as far as I can.
Hopefully by the time they do reach you, they'll be half powered. Like they'll...
Oh my god.
I
don't know.
They won't be...
That one quick one you did before you ran out of the room, I smelled that almost immediately, like, oh god, no.
I was hoping that it was going to leave with me.
No, I think it whoosh, and then it just travels around even more. Oh my goodness.
I still want to challenge Dragor to a fart contest.
It's gonna be a result of you shitting themselves.
Could you imagine?
Now, I would be the referee,
A
but I
little
want both
fart
of you to
off.
wear nothing but white.
Oh God.
It's going to be a really shitty time.
It won't be white at the end, I'll tell you that.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so glad Drager does not watch this show.
He'd block both of us.
He may not block you yet, but he'll definitely block me. Well, I guess shall we end it?
Yeah, my paws are scratchy.
Aw, they were being snaggly.
I need to moisturize or something.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call it a night here. So, this has been another episode of the Zoominghooskpodcast. And once again, I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan.
And we'll catch you next time.